Alexandra Eala sparks controversy after telling Djokovic, "The greatest must know when to stop." The tennis world stood still for a moment, not because of a trophy, a record, or a match point, but because of a single sentence. Alexandra Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino tennis prodigy known for her fiery forehands and calm composure, made global headlines when she said to Novak Djokovic during a post-match interview, "The greatest must know when to stop." It wasn't shouted. It wasn't meant to provoke. Yet, in an era where every word echoes louder than a stadium cheer, Eala's statement ricocheted across every corner of the tennis world. What did she mean? Was it arrogance, honesty, or youthful boldness challenging a legend? To understand that, we must go back to that evening in Shanghai, a night that redefined both rivalry and respect. Shanghai, where legends collided. The 2025 Shanghai Masters had been a spectacle long before the finals. Jannik Sinner was in hot form. Carlos Alcaraz was chasing redemption. But the real surprise was Eala, a wild card entry who blazed through the mixed exhibition matches, stealing hearts and headlines alike. Her charisma, her composure, and that signature Eala grin made her the face of the new generation. She had been invited for a charity mixed doubles exhibition, pairing up with young Italian star Lorenzo Musetti. The opponents? None other than Novak Djokovic and Aryna Sabalenka. The crowd buzzed. Cameras flashed. Djokovic, 38 years old but still sharp as ever, carried himself like the champion he's always been. Focused, calculated, unstoppable. Yet, as rallies unfolded, something shifted. Eala wasn't intimidated. She was inspired. Her returns were fearless. Her drop shots audacious. Every time Djokovic tried to outplay her, she responded with a spark that only youth and conviction could carry. When Eala and Musetti eventually won the exhibition match in a tiebreak, the audience erupted, not because Djokovic lost, but because they had witnessed a new energy taking shape in tennis. And then came the words that set the world ablaze. The comment heard around the world. In the post-match interview, a smiling Eala was asked by a Chinese reporter, "How does it feel to beat Novak Djokovic, one of the greatest of all time?" Eala laughed, brushed off her hair, and said, "It's not about beating him. It's about learning from him. But the greatest must also know when to stop." The audience chuckled. The interviewer smiled awkwardly. Djokovic himself raised an eyebrow. For a second, it seemed like playful banter. But within minutes, social media exploded. Hashtag Eala versus Djokovic. Hashtag know when to stop. Hashtag respect the JT. The phrase became an instant viral storm. Fans divided. Some applauded her boldness. Others accused her of disrespecting a legend. Djokovic's graceful response. Hours later, reporters surrounded Novak Djokovic for his reaction. He had just finished his cool-down session, sipping his protein shake, when a journalist asked, "Novak, any thoughts on Alexandra Eala's statement that the greatest must know when to stop?" Djokovic smiled faintly. "Everyone has a right to their opinion. She's young, passionate, and I admire her confidence. But I'll stop when I decide, not when anyone tells me to." Classic Novak, measured, confident, and completely in control. His fans cheered his poise. But it also ignited a deeper debate. When should the greats step aside for the next generation? The debate that divided tennis. Sports historians, analysts, and fans poured in their thoughts. Some drew parallels to Roger Federer's graceful retirement, Rafael Nadal's emotional farewell speeches, and Serena Williams' transition into a new chapter. Tennis commentator Mary Carrillo weighed in. Eala's comment wasn't disrespect, it was reflection. Every sport evolves when its icons make space for new stories. She just voiced what many think but won't say. Meanwhile, Djokovic's longtime rival Rafael Nadal was asked during an interview in Madrid, "Do you agree with Eala's statement?" Nadal chuckled, pausing before saying, "Knowing when to stop isn't about age. It's about joy. If Novak still loves tennis, he should continue. But if one day he plays only to prove something, maybe it's time to rest." It was diplomacy mixed with truth, something Nadal has mastered over the years. Backlash and reflection. Back in Manila, the Philippine press exploded with pride and panic. Some headlines read, Eala speaks truth to power. Alex Eala crosses a line. Filipina star challenges Djokovic's legacy. Eala's management team urge calm, while social media continue to dissect her words. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like hashtag Eala Speaks and hashtag Respect Djokovic trended for days. In an Instagram post days later, Eala clarified, "My comment wasn't meant to disrespect Novak. He's an inspiration to all of us. What I meant is that legends like him deserve to rest with dignity, not be pushed until they break. Every great athlete deserves to choose their own ending." Her words softened the backlash, but the spark of debate continued. The mentor she never expected. Surprisingly, a week after the controversy, Eala received a message from Djokovic himself. He invited her to train in Belgrade for a few days. "Let's talk on court," the message read. Eala was stunned. She accepted. When she arrived in Serbia, she expected tension. Instead, Djokovic greeted her warmly, racket in hand. They practiced together for hours. Baseline rallies, drills, laughter in between. Djokovic, instead of being defensive, shared wisdom from his journey. "You're brave," he told her. "You say what you feel. That's rare. But remember, greatness isn't about stopping. It's about knowing why you continue." Those words struck her deeper than any criticism ever could. Lessons from a legend. During their sessions, Djokovic opened up about his fears, his aging body, and the loneliness of chasing history. "People think winning is everything," he said, "but winning without peace isn't worth it. Every match now, I play for love, not numbers." The legacy of a moment, that one sentence, "The greatest must know when to stop," will forever be a part of Eala's story. But over time, it transformed from a controversy into a symbol of courage, because what she really meant wasn't about Djokovic's retirement. It was about humanity, the balance between striving and surrendering, between holding on and letting go. Djokovic, in a later interview, reflected, "Alexandra reminded me that even legends need mirrors. Sometimes youth tells us what we don't want to hear, but maybe what we need to. The epilogue, beyond generations. Years from now, when future players look back at this era, they'll see a thread connecting two generations, one who built a mountain and one who dares to climb it higher." Eala and Djokovic, two names that once clashed, became part of a shared legacy, the passing of wisdom, not rivalry. And perhaps that's what true greatness looks like, not knowing when to stop, but knowing how to keep evolving. Final reflection. Tennis thrives on emotion, respect, and evolution. Alexandra Eala's comment may have shaken the world, but also opened a conversation that needed to happen. In the end, the story wasn't about arrogance or audacity. It was about the courage to speak truth and the humility to learn from it. As Eala once wrote in her own words, "I was young, I spoke boldly. He was older, he listened kindly. Between us, somewhere in that moment, tennis grew wiser." Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.